Sonia Barrett here once again. And today I want to talk about when we feel beaten by life, because that is something that we can all relate to. We have all had that experience of feeling beaten down by life. Life becomes the big bully. We talk about bullying, and that's how it feels sometimes. Like life just takes over and it just does what it wants to do. Um, Although we can look at this from many different perspectives, and certainly the spiritual aspect of it, which is what tends to get most of us through our experiences, which is why people are so tied into religion, because you're looking for some sort of savior, some sort of anchor, some sort of something that tells you it's going to be okay. And so I look at religion as insurance. That's really kind of basically what it is. Insurance is all about just in case. So our religious beliefs and our spiritual beliefs, many times when we get into these experiences where we feel beaten up and beaten down by life, sometimes we just don't feel like any of it is working. And you don't know what to do. Now, a lot of times people don't want to say that to other people because it goes against everything. Don't say that. And of course, where I'm always coming from. I'm always coming from a place of just be real with yourself about how you feel. Maybe you're feeling that way so that you can wake up from much of the maybe illusion or deception, all of the beliefs that have been handed to you. It's an opportunity to really examine your belief system and recognize that the choices that you've made in your life are attached to those very belief systems. Where can I make some changes? And again, it's never about beating up on yourself or having tons of regret. It's not about that. It's about, what is this moment handing me? And I feel like I can't get through this moment. I can't get through this. What is this moment handing me? What is it saying to me? What are the thoughts and beliefs that I'm processing in every moment around this particular circumstance? Because what happens is you then are brought into the game of your experience. What do I mean by that? You get brought into the drama in your head, which becomes a series of speculations of the outcome, as well as you trying to decipher how you're going to get through it. And what you find is you get more of the same thing. And either that you're getting more of the same thing in terms of solutions and also in terms of experiences. So you get caught in a loop, and it just becomes feel like this endless loop. So over time, you start to feel like your life is always like this. Your life is caught in this uh, downward spiral then. Or in some cases, there are particular things, specific things that tend to continue to keep replaying in your life over and over. So you develop then a pattern for that. Now, we must understand that all of those experiences, when they keep happening, it means that you're programmed for life, for that to be your norm. You are programmed for those patterns to be part of your normal. And that includes lack, includes poverty, that includes, all of any and everything over time. When it becomes the way that we live, when it becomes a pattern, it becomes our normal. And that could be anything from, also being wealthy. It becomes a person's normal. It can become even a generational normal, just as poverty can be a generational normal. And so there's so many ways that we can examine this, but I think more importantly is bringing it home to yourself and to really recognize what your thought process is, what your thinking process is around what you're experiencing right now, and recognize the overdose of speculations about the outcome that you have going on in your head, endlessly. And it's like you're being traumatized. No, you are being traumatized by it, but it's like a harassment, like you're being harassed, and you don't know how to get out of it. And what also can become a bit annoying is if you do say something to someone and then they try to either tell you that they know how you feel, and you feel like nobody knows how you feel. And certainly we may have had similar experiences, which is what makes us sometimes say that I know how you feel. But when somebody's feeling that way, they feel like nobody knows how I feel right now. And all of that doesn't even matter. What matters is you stopping the program from running, you stopping the speculations, you bring yourself back to right here in this moment, right now, and realize that that's all that you have right now is that moment, and to stop and just be there. I know you hear about being present, and that's really what is they're talking about, is being present, is being right here, right now. And the only thing that is the focus is right here, right now. And this way you can see more clearly what you're being presented with, and perhaps see even the solutions. And sometimes it really is about just standing still, because running around most often actually interferes. And I like to use that word interfere because it does run literal interference, with like static, with the solution that could be right there waiting for you to actually acknowledge it. So I find a lot of times that it really is about just being right here, just stopping everything, because most of the solutions that you're coming up with are solutions that are based on old patterns, old ways of solving problems, old ways of solving problems that become nothing but temporary fixes. And you get a temporary solution, and then you boomerang, you go right back to your normal, which is that pattern that you are attempting to continuously get away from. So as I always say, I know of which I speak. Because we all have. I have definitely lived that, and at times I have to also still stop myself. I'm just so aware of it now, though, that it doesn't happen quite like that anymore. Most of the time, I can just let it go, just kind of step away. And I think, again, we have a fear of letting it go because worrying is the normal thing to do, and it is practical in our minds. It is the thing to do. And if you're not worrying, then you get worried that you're not worrying. Which it makes you feel that you're not doing anything to solve the problem. And you may have a relative, or a friend, but typically it's a relative, or that'll, say, aren't you concerned about it? Aren't you upset about it? Aren't you, reminding you of the program of worry, which really doesn't solve anything. It just sets you up for more harassment in your head, more speculation. more fear of the consequences. And if you haven't had a chance to see one of the videos that I did, which got a lot of views, it was fear of the consequences. So check out that YouTube video, because that is a very, very big one for us. Because when all is said and done, that's what we fear. We fear the consequences, the outcome. And that's what happens when we feel beat up by life. It's the consequences that we have experienced, the outcomes that we have experienced from certain experiences in our life, certain challenges, then let's say, in our life. And sure, there is joy, and sure, there is happiness at times. But I'm bringing this up because when we are happy, when we are feeling joy, we're not worried about that. It feels good. But we tend to feel like we experience more of the opposite than anything else, and become overwhelmed by it, because this life is what it is. It's about survival. That's been the program. It's survival, and the next survival, and the next, and the next. You're constantly looking for the next survival experience. It's that game, but I'm talking about the real game, which is the one that we all end up living. It's like the next situation or problem to be solved, because again, we're problem solvers. That's what we look for. What do we need to solve next? So that's why I'm bringing this up. So it's not that that's all life is made up of. I'm not saying that, but the fact is, that's, everybody deals with this. Some deal with it more than others. As we look around us on our streets, especially here in Los Angeles, there's a lot of mentally ill people, or what we call mentally ill, on the street. There are people that just somehow decided to just check out. They just decided, you know what? I'd rather be schizophrenic and be in multiple realities operating, and just check out completely from this one. Engage only to eat, to beg for money, or, whatever those basic requirements are to sustain this third dimensional vehicle or vessel. But I completely understand. There are times when you do feel like you could just mentally check out. But you have to remember, yes, I'm going to say it, that this really is an incredible technology that projects a game experience, a virtual experience. And yes, I get it. When you're going through what you're going through, you're thinking that doesn't help me. But I tell you, it can, when you really nail that understanding, more so the scientific aspect of it, but not just the science of it, but to really connect with that in here, in your being, and you really get it. It can make all the difference in the world, in the sense of shutting down the game. That's another video I did, how to shut it down. But otherwise, you get caught up in this, your personal virtual experience, which generally is a result of the supposed then external experience. It's all connected. And of course, our perception about what we're experiencing, and our perception of external reality, just our perception overall, impacts how we're feeling. So feeling beaten up by life, step back and look at your circumstances. Look at it. Take a real good look at it. Choices you've made. How did you arrive at this point? How did you arrive here? When you hear the answers that come, think about those as well. But be completely real with yourself, because at this point, it's not about blaming someone else. because that doesn't work either. You can say, yeah, well, if I hadn't got involved with this person, or if this person didn't tell me to do this, or, if my parents didn't you raise us this way, or the things I suffered in my childhood. I get all of that. We're made up of all of those experiences, right? But we have an opportunity when we move into a space of awareness and realization that ultimately we actually have more control, more power, um, to supersede those circumstances and those thought processes and those belief systems. It's just a matter of where we decide to place our focus. And generally, we give most of that power, most of that our life force is infused, or supports the very experiences that we find challenging. Fear needs your energy in order for it to be there. Everything requires you as the power source. You are that which it's plugged into. It needs to be sustained. So how are you sustaining the very thing that you are aiming to transcend from? No, and I don't want to hear, but you don't understand my situation right now. You have to stop and you have to look at it. And again, sometimes we have to make that choice to just stand still, because the solutions that you are using, obviously they must not be working at this time, because you're still there. That's still your norm. The life you're experiencing is still your normal. So you now have to take that truthful walk within yourself and really examine where you're coming from right now and how you're thinking, and realize just how much power you have tied up into this self harassment, because that's what it is, this terrorizing of yourself. And you're going to feel like, well, geez, if I don't do anything. Well, I can tell you sometimes that's what it is. Just sometimes it is about just not doing anything. Sometimes it is that. And if you've seen that movie, oh gosh, was it, I always want to say The Cell, but I think it was The Cube. Um, that's an interesting movie. What it says. It's an interesting movie. And take a look at that. But sometimes it really is about just truly standing still and letting the illusion of whatever it is that's going on pass you by, dissipate, um, have non-engagement. Engagement with it, emotional engagement with it, is how we feed it. That's where it gets its life force from. It's how we feed it. All the speculations that we attach to it, and all the scenarios that we attach to it, all the fear of the consequences that are attached to it. That's all your life force that's going into feeding this. And that's why sometimes we get sick from being stressed. This is precisely why you can get a cold, why you can get a disease. The stress of all of that and the relinquishment of one's life force, one's investment into a particular or several belief systems, several fears, going on all at the same time. It's too much. Body breaks down because it's all of the energy that is required to also sustain the body is going towards holding these experiences in place, or these mental challenges, this mental, what should I call it, game going, to keep it going. So I do hope that this helps, that it gives you something to think about. And I just wanted to talk about that for a minute for somebody who might be going through some things right now and just not sure how they're going to um, get through it. I want to tell you something real quickly. And yeah, I don't have a problem with saying some things and putting some things out about my own situations, because I do it at times because I like to let people know that I do understand where they're coming from, what's going on, and how to get through it. But I remember many years ago when I had left my marriage, and it was in a really devastating situation or experience. Even though it was devastating, it was actually one of the clearest moments of my life. Um, and I left everything behind. And I remember not having money for anything, and I had to go. I had to go and stand in this food line a few times, and in that moment, I was able to see all these people that were doing this. This was their normal. This was their whole life. For some people, it will never change. And I got a moment to see that side. And in myself, I knew that this was temporary. See, I knew it was temporary. So I didn't have a fear of this becoming my normal. I knew it was temporary. I couldn't tell you what my next move was going to be, but I knew that it was temporary. And I took that opportunity to see what that moment was showing me, what it was presenting me with an observation of a side of life that I probably would not have seen or been engaged in any way. But I was able to see that, feel these people, and just see what their overall experience is in probably living like this on a daily basis. Or again, this is probably their norm. For most of those people, I saw that energetically. I could feel that this was their norm, and they weren't going to leave that play, that game, that aspect of it. They weren't going to leave that, but I was going to leave that space. I darted in for a moment. I had that experience, and I could tell you all kinds of other experiences attached to that I was able to go through. And that was over 20 something years ago. But all of it helped to bring me to this moment, all of it. So I'm saying to you that all of your circumstances, everything that you've been dealing with or have dealt with, is a stepping stone. And it doesn't mean that you always have to go through intense situations, circumstances, demise. I'm not saying that at all. But if indeed you're experiencing that, then take that moment to see what it's presenting you with. Look around you instead of just getting lost in the drama of the experience and the self-pity of that experience. What am I gathering from this? Because that could be used as your launching pad. Then you won't feel like life is a bully and beating you up, but rather it is your friend, and it is responding based on your choices, which are based on your belief system, your perception, your all your limiting beliefs as well, your limitations. It's giving you an actual opportunity to be more and to see more. So just open your eyes, open your mind. I hope that helps. So visit my website, therealsoniabarrett.com. There are tons of DVDs and downloads that you can get in the store. Everything I've ever done, every lecture, every workshop, have all been recorded in some format or the other, so that people can go back and get them, because since I never do the same workshop twice, I like to record everything. It's all about moving forward, you know, making progress or progression. So this is why everything is recorded there. And so check out the website. And also, got to let you know, the Business of Disease documentary has distribution, and the official release date is February 2017. However, when I say the official release date, meaning that it'll be all over the place. It'll be on demand and all your television networks, whatever they are. You'll be able to see that and digitally as well. But in the meantime, you can go to the website, thebusinessofdisease.com, and you can now, yes, you can now pre-order the DVD and get it for the holidays. You can order the DVD, The Business of Disease documentary. You can get it for the holiday. They're being mailed on December 1st. And the book, Health and Inside Job and Outside Business, has been revised, a new edition. So you can also order that new version, or you can buy them together. You can also give them as a gift for the holidays, and it will be wrapped and mailed. So check that out, thebusinessofdisease.com. And if you really, really, really want to watch it right now, you can go there to the website and watch it pay-per-view, but only from the businessofdisease.com website. You can watch it pay-per-view on the website. So check it out. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. And also on the realsoniabarrett.com, there is a retreat in the Sequoias coming up in 2017. Check it out in case you want to attend one of the retreats. And I think that's it. Love to hear from you. As always, your comments are welcome. And what else can I say? Have an incredible journey, an incredible eye-opening journey, and don't beat yourself up. Love yourself, embrace yourself, because you are here doing this amazing human game. Until next time, see you then.